What's up, guys? It's Micah. Another market video on gold and silver. I missed last week, so we're going to be touching on the last 2 weeks of price action. Gold has gone higher. It's hit my $2,800 target. I did say that there's potential to go higher. I think there's a little bit of stalling out happening here. I don't know to what extent. The election day is on Monday, and it's been such a smooth ride, um, pretty much all summer and into the fall, of gold just going straight up. And so that has me thinking that we're due for some volatility here, and most likely some volatility in the direction that um, is opposite of what's been happening. So, in other words, going down. Um, if we look from this Fibonacci here, if we pull from the 2020 top and the 2022 bottom, we're hovering right around the 1618, right? So we haven't necessarily cleared that. We're kind of determining that now. If we look closer and we grab from our April top and our July bottom, we tapped that $2,800 target, which was my lower end target for the local high. And now I think it's time for things to potentially roll over. If we pull from here, let's say we're expecting prices to go down, the 618, which is the most common level of support when it comes to trading. There's some nice support here building from the previous low. And then there's nice support on these highs here in that same range. So that leads me to believe that's probably the area of best support, which means that's probably where prices will fall. Right there. So what makes me think it's going to roll over? Well, for one, we tapped that $28 target. If we zoom in, we're getting lower highs on the RSI while price is making higher highs. So that's a negative correlation on the RSI and price. We're also getting this sort of rising wedge building with RSI dropping. You'll notice this low here, which I've depicted with this line. The RSI has a similar low, and it's showing that we've already dropped under that low, which tells me that the RSI is predicting that we're going to drop below this low. Now, how low can we go? I don't know, but I think that the greatest probability with the building tension of the election and the coming volatility that will be produced from that is likely going to create a scenario where things go down. I don't know to what extent yet, but my gut is telling me we're going to be seeing 2350 again. And I think a lot of other assets are potentially going to roll over as well. But I don't know. I mean, we don't know how low it's going to go. I just believe that we're falling out of this rising wedge. That's what this pattern's telling me. That's what symmetry is telling me. That's what my gut's telling me. So I mean, I put my money where my mouth is. I've sold a bunch of inventory off this past couple weeks, expecting lower prices. You're seeing dealers, wholesale dealers, retail dealers offering spot price deals, which means they're also trying to unload inventory at high prices. You're seeing a lot of things that support most likely the spot price going down. So this is what I'm seeing here, and the only thing that would negate this for me is if the election happens Monday and come Friday the market closes and we still haven't dropped below this trend line here. I'd still be watching it closely, but that would give me pause to think, we're not quite there yet. I'd say we have until the middle of November to determine whether we're going to drop out of this rising wedge. And then if we do, just look out below, and then you get to start figuring out where the bottom is, and that's always the hard part. But if we draw some fibs, and if this is our high, assuming this is our high, we have the 618, or excuse me, the 1618 at 2500. We have the 2618 at 2330, which falls in line with what we've already drawn here. So that's what's leading me to go for this 2350 number, and I'm just gonna draw a box here to kind of reiterate that that's my buy zone. If we did see this is awesome support and definitely a great place to start loading up on gold long term. So let's pull up silver. Silver is interesting. The path that I think it's going to go on, I still think there's a possibility for sub 20. If we look closer here, the last video I did was right here. We were here, and I said, okay, I was wrong. We're not going to be held below this $33 number with this, wedge that I've drawn. So that's where I kind of ate my words, and I said, okay, we're up above that. Now we have to start thinking that this belief isn't true, right? That we're not going to stay below this. Well, I missed a week, and sure enough, we're back below. And I think there's still some determination that needs to happen here, but I don't think that we're going higher from here. It doesn't look like that way to me. It's possible because we're on the trend line, and it's possible we get support here and we push higher. But I'm not quite seeing it. And the reason why is a lower high on the weekly. Kind of how I pointed out on gold on the daily, the same is true for silver on the weekly. We have higher highs on the price and lower lows on the RSI. That's negative divergence. Okay, we're in our rising wedge. We had a fake out over the top of the rising wedge, similar to how we had this fake out here back in 2020. And I've said it before, this looks like a fractal of 2020. Okay, this looks almost identical to it. It's a little bit different with its angle, but in terms of the setup, it's very, very similar. And so what I'm almost expecting is this next week and the next 2 weeks and during this month, if the markets don't respond well over the next couple of weeks to the election, and silver loses ground and gold loses ground, and we see a move like this, and the RSI is still lower and it's still lower highs, and additionally, if we see, so we have this low here, if we see support here, but on the RSI we see a lower low, it's not looking good. And I think we're entering a situation where we start, targeting that sub 20 range and potentially even lower. I've called for $14 silver. It's totally within the realm of possibility for us to get $14 silver. It's totally within the realm of possibility for us to get $18 silver on spot price. Now, the premiums are going to be insane, but when it comes to trading mining stocks, when it comes to buying metals futures, we're totally within the realm of possibility with breaking below this wedge. And then when there is a break below this wedge, you don't know when it's going to stop going down. And the two places of support are here, $18, and here at $14.50. So it's very possible that we see it bottom out somewhere in there if we fall below this wedge. And I think the signal again for us falling below that wedge is if we see a lower low on the RSI once we make support here. Um, so what I'm doing is I've sold most of my inventory. I'm in cash. I still have silver. The silver that I'm holding is 90% because I think 90% is more scarce and the premiums are going to go up. I'm holding platinum because platinum has a supply issue, specifically with American Platinum Eagles. I'm holding a few other specific numismatic gold coins that I'm not going to disclose. And I'm holding things that are non volatile assets, collectible paper money, gemstones. Again, numismatics, these things aren't going to fluctuate and they're not going to be as volatile as this market's going to be over the next 3-4 months. So I think this is a great opportunity. I know there's people saying that silver is going to go to 40, and it's entirely possible that the RSI is incorrect and that I'm incorrect, and that we rebound here. Trump gets elected, like many people are saying, and we have a nice rebound, and off we go to $50. But I I'm just not seeing it. I think this fake out kind of confirms what I was thinking. And I know I said during this video, I'm eating my words. And, you know, we have to be able to change with the market. So if the market breaks a high, we have to change our attitude. We have to say, okay, it's very possible that prices are going to go higher. But the second that that gets reversed and that price is no longer holding, the market has changed. And yes, we get to change what we think about the market. Anybody that tells you that they predicted X and they never changed their mind and they got it 100% correct, um, that's gambling. That's one in a million. But a person that is good at trading and is good at understanding the markets is able to move with the market and change their mind. There's going to come a time when silver is a screaming buy, and there's going to become a time when it's a screaming sell. And you have to be able to go back and forth between those two things with any asset and not get religious about it. Too many people get religious about gold and silver and Bitcoin and this stock and that stock. And at the end of the day, it's money, and the money doesn't even exist. The money isn't even something that we should be spending our lives focusing on. There's family, there's God, there's so many things that are more important than money. And if you're going to be married to it, if it's going to be your religion, if it's going to be your God, and all you're going to do is worry about what silver's doing and what Bitcoin's doing and any of that, you're going to get attached to these things and you're going to trade poorly. And I know that from experience because I have been that person who all they care about is gold and silver and money and Bitcoin and what is Bitcoin going to do? When is silver going to go to 50? And it's exhausting. And you sit there basically living on hope, hoping that the price is going to go up, hoping that the price is going to do this. And meanwhile, there's all this volatility and you're not capturing any of it. So this is why I believe that you should pay attention to how markets move. Be willing to change your mind and be willing to make moves at a moment's notice. You might be absolutely in love with the idea of silver, and that's going to cloud your judgment on the right times to buy and sell. Okay? If it's a religion for you, it's going to cloud your judgment. You need to be able to drop it like it's nothing at a moment's notice, and at the same time have the conviction to hold it for 10 years. And it's a very, very hard thing to do because it's hard to hold something for 10 years and then see something one day and decide that you're going to sell it all. But that's what the best traders do. That's what the best investors do. So anyway, guys, that's my rant. My rant is over. If you want me to go over other assets, I definitely will. Today was gold and silver as usual. I keep it light. I keep it brief. But if you want to support me and what I do here, I would greatly appreciate it if you went to our website, fsmetals.us, and you look at the products that we have for sale. If you look while the gold and silver market is open from Sunday at 3 p.m. to Friday at, I believe it's 3 p.m. Pacific time, there's going to be a ton of products available. Over the weekend, it's less available because our main supplier is closed when the market is closed. There's also gemstone products available. There's paper money products available. There's tons of stuff. In addition to that, we have a newsletter that is written by Matt Simonis, and he covers a lot of interesting news points that he pays attention to that apply to this market and other markets, and it's very insightful. So go ahead and visit that link down below, and appreciate you guys watching, and we'll catch you next week.